Every 9 minutes, Child Protective Services finds evidence of child abuse in America. 1 out of 7 girls will be abused before they are 18 years old, and 93% of child sexual abuse victims know their abuser. Along with this, 30% of cases aren't reported, which is simply unacceptable, and the main reason of this is because children are too scared or discouraged by the family members around them to come out and say anything. This is because there is stigma of children who have been sexually abused, and everyone looks down on the family, when the reality is it could happen to anybody. There's about 80,000 reports annually, and this is still not enough. As I just said, 30% aren't being mentioned, which is tens of thousands of children every year who are too scared to say something and stand up for themselves. The organization that I am talking about today is Chicago Children's Advocacy Center, and they stand up to this problem of child abuse. Their goal is to unite the public, private, and community partners to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of children in their area. One of the workers who works with them is named Janine, and she shared her personal experience of child abuse. Janine was only 14 years old when a family friend, who she said she thought of him as her second grandpa, he was so trusted, molested her at the age of 14 while her family was out of town. When she came to her family and told her this, they almost all discouraged her, with the exception of her sister, to press charges because he was a well-respected man and because they thought he would be able to sue them for defamation of character. This is just not acceptable, because it should not matter how wealthy you are or what you do to get away with sexual abuse. And Janine said that it is our job to protect children, as nobody protected her, and that is why she works with the Advocacy Center today. When child sexual abuse is reported, the Advocacy Center takes 3 steps. The first of these 3 steps is called a forensic interview. And the interviewers have training, and they know how to perform unbiased and unintrusive interviews. Rather than sitting the children down with police and scaring them even more by interviewing them and relentlessly asking questions, this is a one-on-one meeting in a room with a one-way mirror, so the child feels as if it's a conversation. In this meeting, the interviewers focus on making sure the child is comfortable and calm, and they also record these interviews. With this recording, they can bring it into court, and this helps greatly because almost all children are too scared to testify in court, because they will be sitting across a room from their previous abuser, and they will be talking about this traumatic experience in front of sometimes hundreds of people. The next step is a medical exam, where the child will be taken to a doctor who works for the Advocacy Center. The doctors there are instructed to be sensitive and comprehensive, and they document physical evidence of sexual abuse that can be used in court. They also address any psychological effects that the children have, which leads into the next step, which is mental health with the Advocacy Center. They have many therapists hired there who are trained on creating comfortable scenarios and a safe space for the children who have been traumatized. They develop positive coping skills, and they do this by focusing on what happened in the medical exam and what psychological problems they identified. Once they do this, they find out what is challenging the child and moving forward, whether it be nightmares, anxiety, flashbacks, or anything. And once they do this, they find coping mechanisms that work for the individual child, and they'll work with them and train them on how to get past this. And you can help just by volunteering, reaching out, donating money to an advocacy center, and they also have training sessions on how to recognize and report child sexual abuse. And while you may not think this personally applies to you, I know personally I have a friend who I did not know suffered sexual child abuse until they told me. So one of my best friends, it's very easy to not see it. So you need to go out there and help.